Some say family is where you're protected. In my house, protection means forging my signature and demanding I co-sign six-figure debt. Tonight, my stepfather entered the city science fair with the innovation I've nurtured for 3 years, but he forgot one thing: the winner's ribbon always prints the inventor of record from the final legal filing, and that filing no longer bears his name. My name is Tessa Harrow, and I've spent the last decade building a career that my family seems determined to destroy. At 32, I work as a compliance engineer and data analyst for Vista Ridge Municipal Energy, where I track power grid inefficiencies and ensure regulatory standards. It's not glamorous work, but it's honest something I can't say about what's happening in my mother's kitchen right now. Dale Rigsby, my stepfather, slides a stack of documents across the granite countertop, his contractor's hands, permanently stained with grout and ambition, tap the signature lines marked with fluorescent flags. Just need your John Hancock here, and here. I don't touch the papers. Instead, I lean back in my chair, studying the man who married my mother 8 years ago when his construction business was thriving. Now, judging by the letterhead Secure Flow Financial, one of those predatory lenders that advertise during daytime TV thriving, is a distant memory. What exactly am I signing? Dale. His jaw tightens. Behind him, my mother Marilyn busies herself wiping down already clean counters, her nervous energy filling the space between us. Equipment loan and a refinance on the business property. Family helps family. Tessa, that's what we do. I flip through the first few pages, my stomach dropping with each line. This is a 6-figure loan with my name as co-signer, 22% interest rate. And this, I hold up the second document. This refinances your existing debt, but pulls equity from Mom's house. Our house, Dale corrects, his voice sharp. And it's a temporary cash flow issue. The Riverside Mall project will pay out next month. The same Riverside Mall that fired you as a contractor 3 months ago. The words escape before I can stop them. I know because a coworker's husband works for the developer. Dale's fist slams the counter. The sound echoes through the kitchen, making Marilyn flinch. You don't know what you're talking about. I know what a FICO score below 500 looks like, I say, keeping my voice steady despite my racing heart. I know that co-signing this makes me legally responsible when not if you default. I know my credit rating took me years to build, and I won't torch it for your poor business decisions. Poor business. Dale's face flushes red. Everything I do is for this family. The roof over your head when you visit, the additions to this house, your mother's medical bills. All paid for with Mom's insurance and her retirement savings, I interrupt. I've seen the bank statements she asked me to help her understand. Marilyn finally speaks, her voice small. Tessa, please, he just needs help getting back on his feet. I look at my mother, the woman who raised me alone until I was 24, who worked double shifts as a nurse to put me through community college, the woman who now can't meet my eyes because she knows what she's asking is wrong. Mom, he forged Aunt Catherine's signature on a loan application 2 years ago. She nearly lost her house. That was a misunderstanding, Dale interjects. Catherine overreacted. The district attorney didn't think so. The only reason you're not in jail is because Aunt Catherine didn't want Mom to suffer. I stand, gathering my purse. The refinance documents scatter across the counter, revealing more predatory terms, more risks I refuse to shoulder. The answer is no. My signature stays off these papers. Dale steps forward, blocking my path to the door. He's not touching me. He's too smart for that, but his presence fills the narrow kitchen passage. You ungrateful little after everything we've done for you. The family gatherings, the support, the emotional manipulation, the guilt trips, the constant requests for money. I sidestep him, my hand steady on my purse strap. I pay my own way, Dale, always have. You'll regret this, he says, his voice low and controlled now, which is somehow worse than the yelling. When this family falls apart, when your mother loses everything because you were too selfish to help, you'll regret this. The only thing I regret, I say, reaching the door, Is not installing security cameras the last time you tried this? I leave before he can respond, before my mother's tears can change my mind. As I sit in my car, hands shaking slightly, I pull out my phone and text Ava Sloan, my half-sister and the only family member who understands why I keep my distance. He tried again, I type, this time with official loan documents. I need your help documenting everything. Eva's response comes quickly. Paralegal mode activated. Save everything. Forward me photos of those documents if you can. I start my car, knowing this isn't over. Dale doesn't handle rejection well, and something in his eyes tonight desperate, calculating tells me he's planning something. What I don't know yet is that he's already stolen something far more valuable than money, the innovation I've spent 3 years perfecting, the algorithm that could revolutionize how we track power grid losses. But Dale Rigsby is about to learn that I inherited more than just my mother's stubborn streak. I inherited her ability to fight back, even when the enemy sits at your own dinner table. The Grayford Innovation and Science Fair sprawls across the convention center like a small city of ambition and LED displays. I'm here representing Vista Ridge Municipal Energy, manning our booth about smart grid initiatives. It's the last place I expect to see Dale, but I should know better by now. The Rigsby Renewables banner catches my eye from across the hall. The company name is new, but the technology on display stops me cold. It's my algorithm, my 3 years of after-hours coding, testing, and refining dressed up with Dale's logo and marketing speak. I abandon my booth, weaving through crowds of investors and tech enthusiasts. Each step closer confirms what my eyes refuse to believe. The monitoring interface on his laptop screen shows my exact visualization patterns. The demonstration unit blinks with the diagnostic sequence I programmed. Even the color scheme, that specific shade of blue I chose because it reminded me of Lake Erie at dawn, remains unchanged. Dale stands beside the display in an ill-fitting suit, gesturing enthusiastically to a reporter from the Grayford Gazette. The innovation really came from understanding the inefficiencies in the current system, he says, and I taste bile. Rigsby Renewables developed this proprietary algorithm to detect power loss in real time, potentially saving municipalities millions. My hands shake as I pull out my phone, switching to silent video mode. I need evidence, even as rage threatens to blur my vision. Mr. Rigsby, this is impressive work, the reporter says, her digital recorder extended. How long has your company been developing this technology? About 3 years, Dale replies smoothly. Sometimes the best innovations come from small, family-run businesses who really understand the community's needs. Family-run. The words hit like a physical blow. I force myself to stay hidden behind a neighboring booth until the reporter leaves. Then I approach, my professional smile fixed like armor. Dale? My voice cuts through his sales pitch to a potential investor. Interesting display. His face cycles through surprise, annoyance, and finally, a smug satisfaction. Tessa, didn't expect to see you here, though I suppose Vista Ridge has their own basic presence. That's my code, I say quietly, not wanting to scene but needing him to know I know. My algorithm, my 3 years of work. He laughs, actually laughs. Your code, I don't see your name anywhere on these patents pending. Rigsby Renewables has been developing this independently. Must be a coincidence if there are similarities to your hobby project. Hobby project. The nights I stayed up debugging. The weekends I spent testing on Vista Ridge's practice servers with written permission. The careful documentation I maintained reduced to 2 dismissive words. You accessed my laptop, I state. When I was visiting Mom last month, you copied my files. Prove it, he says, leaning closer, lowering his voice. Oh, wait, you can't, because I was smart enough to file the provisional patents first. Amazing what you can do with a little initiative and the right family support. Family support. My stomach turns as I realize what he means. Mom knew. She had to have known. This won't stand, I manage. It already has. In fact, he pulls out a folded newspaper. The Gazette's running a feature story tomorrow. Local contractor revolutionizes energy monitoring. Has a nice ring to it. I see my mother approaching from the coffee stand, 2 cups in hand. She freezes when she spots me, her face draining of color. The guilt in her expression confirms everything. "Tessa, honey," she starts, but I'm already walking away, my phone pressed to my ear. "Eva," I say when my sister picks up, "I need you, now. Bring your laptop and every contact you have in intellectual property law." What happened? Dale stole my grid monitoring system. He's presenting it at the science fair. Filed patents. The whole thing. Eva curses creatively. "I'm 10 minutes out. Document everything you can see. Photos, videos, get close-ups of any technical specifications. We need to establish prior art." I circle back, pretending to browse other booths while photographing every angle of Dale's display. I recognize chunks of my actual code in his screenshots. He didn't even bother to change variable names. Amateur move. But would a judge understand the significance? "Ma'am." A young volunteer appears at my elbow. "Are you registered as an exhibitor?" I show her my Vista Ridge badge. "Just browsing innovations. Lots of interesting work here." She nods and moves on, but I catch Dale watching me with narrow eyes. He whispers something to my mother, who hurries over. "Tessa, please," she says, reaching for my arm. I step back. "He's trying to save the business, the house, everything we've worked for." "Everything you've worked for," I correct, "which he's systematically destroying, and now he's destroying my career too." "It's just a computer program," she pleads. "You can make another one, but we could lose our home." "He stole from me, Mom. He committed fraud, identity theft, and you helped him." Her silence speaks volumes. Eva appears at my shoulder, her paralegal instincts already cataloging the scene. "Is that the display Christ? He didn't even try to hide it. That's definitely your UI design." "We need Cal Benton," I tell her. "He saw my early demos when I was consulting on the municipal building project. He can testify to timeline." "Already texted him," Eva confirms. "Also, didn't you present a version of this at the Vista Ridge quarterly meeting 6 months ago?" I had, to a room full of board members and staff, all recorded in meeting minutes. "Ladies," Dale's voice booms behind us, "I'm going to have to ask you to stop harassing my booth. This is a family business, and we don't appreciate industrial espionage." Industrial espionage. The audacity makes my vision red. "Actually," Eva steps forward, her voice pure legal steel, "we're documenting evidence of intellectual property theft. I suggest you preserve all materials related to this display. You'll be receiving a cease and desist letter within 24 hours. Dale's face darkens, but the gathering crowd of onlookers keeps him in check. "You always were an ungrateful—" "Dale," my mother's sharp warning cuts him off. I turn to leave, then pause. "Oh. And Dale, that patent filing you're so proud of. You might want to check who's listed as the inventor of record, because the algorithm's metadata, every version control commit, every timestamp, every development log all ties back to my verified accounts. Your provisional patent is built on a foundation of fraud." His face shifts from smug to uncertain. Good. Let him sweat. As Eva and I exit the convention center, she pulls up her legal research app. "We need to move fast. What else do you have documented?" "Everything," I say, thinking of my meticulous records. 3 years of everything. "Then let's bury him in his own ambition." Eva's home office looks like a war room. Legal documents spread across her dining table. Laptop screens glow with bank records, and empty coffee cups mark the hours we've been digging. It's 2 a.m. when we find the smoking gun. "Look at this." Eva highlights a credit application on her screen. "Business equipment loan for Rigsby Renewables. Filed last month." And here, she zooms in on the signature page. "That's supposedly your signature as guarantor." I lean closer, my exhaustion evaporating. The signature looks like mine, but something's off. The tail on the Y is wrong, and I never make my A that round. I pull up a PDF of my lease agreement from 2 years ago. This is the source. He literally scanned and pasted my signature from this document. Digital forensics will prove that easily, Eva mutters, screenshotting everything. What else did he forge? We dive deeper into county records, business filings, and equipment purchases. Each discovery tightens the knot in my stomach. A credit line with Meridian Tech suppliers. My forged signature, an application for the Science Fair's commercial exhibition space, me listed as co-owner of Rigsby Renewables without my knowledge or consent. 5 separate financial documents spanning 4 months, all featuring my mysteriously appearing approval. This is systematic, Eva says. He's been planning this since at least January. My phone buzzes. Cal Benton. Texting, despite the late hour. Saw the news coverage of the science fair. That's definitely your grid loss detection system. I remember you explaining the neural network approach at the Riverside Municipal Building. Still have my notes from that meeting if you need them. Cal can testify, I tell Eva. He was project manager when I consulted on the municipal building's energy efficiency upgrade. I demonstrated an early version of the algorithm to his team. Good. We need a timeline. Eva creates a new document. When did you first start developing this? October, 3 years ago. I have the GitHub repository to prove it private, but all commits tracked. I log into my account. Relieved to see Dale hadn't thought to check for version control. Look, here's the initial commit. October 15th, 11:47 p.m. First attempt at anomaly detection in power distribution. We document everything timestamps, commit messages, progressive improvements. The digital trail tells the story. Dale can't erase thousands of hours of development, all undeniably linked to my accounts. Wait, Eva pauses, scrolling through her email. Didn't Mom send us both that family update newsletter thing she does, the one from January? I groan, remembering Mom's monthly emails full of Dale's business updates and photos of their garden. Eva searches her inbox and finds it. Dale's exciting new venture into renewable energy consulting. He's working on revolutionary monitoring technology that will help businesses save thousands. He was telegraphing it, I realize, setting up the narrative that he was developing something. Here's the thing. Eva sets down her laptop. Lawyer mode fully engaged. We have fraud, identity theft, and intellectual property theft, but I want to check something else. She navigates to the county clerk's website, searching legal notices. There it is. On screen, a notice of creditor claims against Marilyn Harrow Rigsby, filed 4 months ago. Mom didn't know she was being sued. I stare at the screen. Look at the service address, Eva points. It's Dale's construction company office, not their house. He's been intercepting legal notices. And look, she clicks another link. Notice of default on a loan. A loan with your name on it. My blood runs cold. I never signed any loan. No, but Dale made it look like you did. And when he defaulted, Eva's expression hardens. This goes beyond theft. He's destroying your financial reputation to cover his debts. I think of my mother, probably lying awake next to the man who's systematically dismantling both our futures. We need to warn her. We need to protect you first, Eva counters. Tomorrow, we file police reports for the forgery. We notify the credit bureaus. We get restraining orders if necessary. Then we deal with Mom. A new email notification pops up. It's from an address I don't recognize, but the subject line makes me click, "Saw you at the convention center today." The message is brief. I work it for Secure Flow Financial. What your stepfather submitted doesn't match other documents we have on file for you. Thought you should know. Can't say more. But check application, BERT-SF 2024-8847. We have an ally inside the lending company, Eva breathes. This is huge. I forward the email to my secure account, then return to documenting. By dawn, we've assembled a comprehensive package: forged signatures, false loan applications, proof of my prior development work, and a clear timeline of Dale's deception. One more thing, I say, pulling up the science fair's online portal. The exhibition rules state that all intellectual property disputes must be disclosed. Let's see what Dale filed. His application loads. Under development team, he's listed himself as sole inventor. Under conflicts or disputes, none. He lied on the official application too, Eva notes. That's grounds for immediate disqualification. As the sun rises over Grayford, I feel something shift. This isn't just about defending myself anymore. It's about exposing a pattern of deception that's hurt who knows how many others. Dale picked the wrong target this time. Someone with the technical skills to track his digital footprints and a sister with legal knowledge to make it matter. We should sleep, Eva suggests, but I shake my head. First, we back everything up. Multiple clouds, physical drives, printed copies, Dale's desperate, and desperate people do stupid things. As I upload files to my fourth backup service, a text arrives from my mother. Please come home. We need to talk. Dale's sorry about yesterday. I show Eva, who snorts. Sorry he got caught, maybe. Another text follows. The bank called. They're asking questions about signatures. What did you do? Nothing, I type back. But I'm about to... Eva starts drafting the whistleblower complaint while I organize evidence files. Somewhere across town, Dale's probably celebrating his science fair success, unaware that his house of forged cards is about to collapse. Hey, Eva says suddenly, you know what the beauty of this is? He filed everything under Rigsby Renewables, a company where you're supposedly co-owner according to his own fraudulent documents. I look up, understanding dawning, which means you might actually have legal claim to the technology he stole. He played himself. For the first time in 48 hours, I smile. Dale wanted to use my name to prop up his failing business. Now he's about to learn what happens when you forge the wrong person's signature, especially when that person has 3 years of commit logs and a very motivated paralegal sister. Let's make those calls, I say, reaching for my phone. Starting with the Grayford County District Attorney's Office, the law offices of Brennan and Associates smell like leather and coffee. Sarah Brennan, Eva's former mentor, reviews our evidence with the intensity of a surgeon. It's been 3 days since the science fair, and we've moved fast. The LLC registration was the smart play, Sarah says, sliding the freshly filed documents across her desk. Harrow Grid Analytics, established yesterday, all your intellectual property transfers cleanly, predating any of Dale's claims. I study the official seal on the paperwork, my company, my technology, legal protection Dale never thought I'd seek. The provisional patent is even better, she continues, filed at 8 a.m. this morning, beating the close of the science fair submission window. Your documentation is impeccable every algorithm iteration, every test result, every timestamp. Eva leans forward. What about the criminal charges? The district attorney's office is very interested. Sarah pulls up an email. Detective Morrison from the Financial Crimes Unit wants to meet Monday. The forged signatures alone warrant investigation, but the systematic nature suggests a larger pattern. I think of the whistleblower email about Secure Flow Financial. There might be other victims. Likely, Sarah agrees. Now, let's discuss the restraining order. You mentioned threats. I show her my phone. 17 missed calls from Dale since yesterday. Text messages ranging from, let's talk about this like family, to, you're destroying your mother, to the more ominous, you have no idea what you've started. The escalation is concerning, Sarah notes. We'll file for an emergency protective order today. Dale Rigsby is not to contact you. Come within 500 feet. Or use any intermediaries to harass you. What about my mother? The question hurts to ask. She's not named unless she participates in the harassment, but Tessa, Sarah's voice gentles. You need to prepare for the possibility that she'll choose his side. I nod, having already accepted this likelihood. Mom's texts have grown increasingly frantic, alternating between begging me to drop everything and accusing me of trying to destroy her life. Now the science fair, Sarah continues. Their legal department responded to our notice. She hands me a letter on Grayford Innovation and Science Fair letterhead. I read quickly. The committee acknowledges receipt of our intellectual property claim and evidence. They've frozen all awards pending investigation. More importantly, they're invoking their new policy. Any published materials or awards will identify the inventor of record based on legal documentation provided up to 24 hours before the ceremony. That's tomorrow night, Eva calculates. Which is why we're filing everything today, Sarah confirms. The provisional patent, the LLC ownership records, your comprehensive development history, it all gets submitted to the committee by 5 p.m. My phone buzzes, another unknown number, but I recognize the voice immediately when I answer. Miss Harrow. This is Arthur Whitman from Summit Power Energy Solutions. We were impressed by the grid monitoring display at the science fair, but we've heard there are some irregularities regarding ownership. Could we meet to discuss? I put him on speaker, glancing at Sarah, who nods encouragingly. Mr. Whitman, I appreciate your call. I'm the actual developer of that technology. My attorney can provide full documentation of ownership. Excellent, he responds, sounding relieved. We prefer to work with the true innovators. Would tomorrow afternoon work before the award ceremony? We arrange the meeting. As I hang up, Sarah smiles. He's doing due diligence. Smart company. They know something's wrong with Dale's story. The rest of the afternoon blurs filing documents, providing statements, authorizing background checks. The restraining order is granted with surprising speed. Apparently Dale has a history of harassment complaints from subcontractors. As evening approaches, Eva drives me to the Science Fair Committee offices. We hand-deliver our package articles of incorporation for Harrow Grid Analytics, provisional patent filing, GitHub repository logs, notarized statements from Cal Benton and 3 other witnesses who saw early demonstrations, and a USB drive containing 3 years of development data. The committee's legal advisor, Janet Liu, reviews each document carefully. This is thorough, she says finally, and it certainly predates Mr. Rigsby's claims by significant margins. We're not trying to disrupt your event, I assure her. We just want the accurate inventor credited. Understood. The committee will review everything tonight. The award ceremony program goes to print at noon tomorrow, so we'll need to make our determination by then. Leaving the building, I feel oddly calm. Whatever happens now, I've done everything right. Legal channels, proper documentation, no shortcuts or angry confrontations. Dale's going to lose it when he finds out, Eva predicts as we reach her car. Probably, I agree, which is why I'm staying at your place tonight. My phone rings. Mom again. This time I answer. Tessa Marie Harrow, she begins, using my full name like when I was in trouble as a kid. The FBI just left our house. The FBI, they seized Dale's computers and all his business records. It's the Financial Crimes Division, Mom, not FBI, and they have warrants because Dale committed fraud. He's your father, she cries. Stepfather, I correct coldly, and he's a criminal who stole my work and forged my signature. I'm protecting myself. By destroying our lives, they froze our accounts. Tessa, how are we supposed to pay bills? I close my eyes. The accounts with forged documents on them, those aren't your accounts anymore. Mom, they're evidence. I can't believe you're doing this to family. I'm not doing anything. Dale did this when he decided to steal from me, when he chose fraud over honest work, when you helped him. Silence stretches until she whispers, I never helped him. You knew about the loans, the science fair project. You kept quiet. I thought if he succeeded, we could pay everything back, make it right. That's not how crime works, Mom. She hangs up. Eva squeezes my shoulder as we drive toward her apartment. You did the right thing, she assures me. I know, I reply, watching the city lights blur past. Doesn't make it easier. Tomorrow, the science fair will announce their decision. Tomorrow. I meet with potential investors who want to license legitimate technology. Tomorrow. Dale faces the consequences of his choices. But tonight, I sit in my sister's guest room, backing up files one more time and writing additional documentation for the patent attorney. My code fills the screen, elegant functions I crafted over thousands of hours, solving problems Dale couldn't even understand. He stole my work. He forged my name. He tried to erase my contributions and claim my innovations. But I built this technology, and I protected it the right way, with law, with documentation, with truth. The ribbon at tomorrow's ceremony will read, Inventor Tessa Harrow Grid Analytics, LLC, because that's what the legal record shows, and no amount of family guilt or stepfather manipulation can forge that away. The committee room at the Grayford Innovation Center feels like a courtroom. Janet Liu sits at the head of the table, flanked by 2 other committee members and the fair's legal counsel. Across from me, Dale sweats through his cheap suit, a hastily hired lawyer beside him. We've reviewed all submitted documentation, Janet begins, her voice professionally neutral. The evidence is clear. The grid monitoring technology was developed by Ms. Harrow, with documented proof dating back 3 years. Mr. Rigsby's claims of independent development are unsupported. Dale's lawyer interjects, My client maintains that this was a collaborative family effort. With no documentation, no development history, and no technical contributions from Mr. Rigsby, the legal counsel interrupts. Meanwhile, Ms. Harrow has provided thousands of time-stamped commits, witness testimonies, and prior art that predates Rigsby Renewable's existence. I remain silent, letting the evidence speak. Sarah Brennan beside me doesn't need to argue we've already won. Furthermore, Janet continues, the committee's new policy is explicit. The published award and all materials will identify the inventor of record based on legal documentation. Ms. Harrow's provisional patent and LLC registration are the only valid claims we've received. Dale's face darkens. This is family business being aired. This is intellectual property theft being corrected. Janet cuts him off. Mr. Rigsby, did you develop any portion of the algorithm? Can you explain how the neural network processes grid anomalies? Can you write a single line of the code you claim to have created? Silence. The committee has made its determination, Janet announces. The award for Best Applied Innovation will proceed as scheduled tonight, but all materials will correctly identify Tessa Harrow of Harrow Grid Analytics as the inventor. Mr. Rigsby, you have 6 hours to update your display to reflect accurate ownership or remove it entirely. Dale stands abruptly, his chair scraping against the floor. This isn't over. Actually, it is, his lawyer mutters, already packing his briefcase. As Dale storms out, I catch sight of my mother in the hallway. She won't meet my eyes, but I see her shoulders shaking. Part of me wants to comfort her, but I stay seated. She made her choice. 2 hours later, I'm in a different room with very different energy. Arthur Whitman from Summit Power has brought his technical team, and they're peppering me with questions about the algorithm's scalability. The real innovation, I explain, pulling up my laptop, is in how it learns. Each grid has unique loss patterns. The system adapts to local conditions, weather, usage patterns, even squirrel populations affecting transformers. Squirrels? Whitman's lead engineer laughs. Serious problem in suburban grids, I confirm. The algorithm identifies biological versus mechanical causes with 89% accuracy. They exchange impressed looks. We spend another hour discussing technical specifications, implementation timelines, and licensing terms, when Whitman slides a letter of intent across the table. The dollar figure makes my hands tremble slightly. Pending tonight's official award, of course, he adds with a knowing smile. We've heard about the complications. We appreciate you handling it through proper channels. Shows integrity. Integrity. Something Dale never understood. That evening, I arrive at the convention center to find Dale's booth stripped bare. In its place, a simple sign, display withdrawn. The committee acted fast. Cal Benton intercepts me near the entrance. Heard through the grapevine that Dale's investors pulled out. Something about fraudulent representations. I'm not surprised. Due diligence works both ways. Your display's been updated, he adds, grinning. Want to see... He leads me to where my innovation stands. The committee has reprinted everything new banners reading Harrow Grid Analytics, updated documentation, and most importantly, accurate attribution. My name, my company, my work. Eva appears with our small support crew, Sarah Brennan, Cal, 2 colleagues from Vista Ridge who've become friends, and surprisingly, Arthur Whitman's team. Quite the reversal, Whitman notes, studying the corrected display. Though I suspect you planned this outcome. I planned for truth, I reply. Dale gave me the opportunity to ensure it. As the ceremony begins, I spot Dale in the back with my mother. He's on his phone, gesticulating angrily. Security keeps a discreet eye on him. Sarah made sure they knew about the restraining order. The mayor takes the stage, beginning with minor awards. Each winner receives applause, but tension builds toward the major categories. Everyone knows something dramatic happened with the Best Applied Innovation category. Finally, the moment arrives. The award for Best Applied Innovation goes to... The mayor pauses dramatically. The Grid Loss Detection System by inventor Tessa Harrow of Harrow Grid Analytics, LLC. The inventor designation is emphasized, unusual for the fair but necessary given the circumstances. As I walk to the stage, I pass a monitor displaying the winner's information. There it is, pulled directly from the fair's updated database, inventor Tessa Harrow Grid Analytics, LLC. The physical ribbon attached to my display model matches exactly. No ambiguity, no shared credit, no family business facade. In my peripheral vision, I see Dale pushing through the crowd, but security intercepts him before he reaches the stage. My mother follows, her face a mask of embarrassment and anger, though I can't tell who it's directed at. Ms. Harrow, the mayor says, handing me the award. Your innovation could save municipalities millions while improving grid reliability. Congratulations on your achievement. Thank you, I respond into the microphone. This technology represents 3 years of development, and I'm excited to partner with Summit Power to bring it to cities across the state. The announcement of the Summit Power partnership creates a buzz. Several other energy companies' representatives immediately approach the stage. Dale's shouts from the back are drowned out by applause and business card exchanges. Later, as Eva helps me load the display into her car, she shows me her phone. Dale's already posting on social media, claims you stole from him, family betrayal, the usual. Let him, I say, securing the award ribbon. I have lawyers now, and more importantly, I have documentation. She screenshots his posts anyway. Evidence for the criminal case. Detective Morrison will want to see his public threats. As we drive away from the convention center, I feel the weight of 3 years lifting. Not just the development time, the 3 years of Dale's manipulation, of watching him drain my mother's resources, of keeping silent to preserve family peace. You know what the best part is? Eva asks. What? He put all that effort into stealing your work, filing fraudulent papers, convincing Mom to look the other way, and in the end, the ribbon told the truth anyway. She's right. Dale thought he could paper over reality with forged signatures and false claims. But innovation leaves trails, commits, tests, iterations, breakthroughs at 2 a.m. when you finally solve that buffer overflow problem. You can't fake that history. Tomorrow, I meet with prosecutors about the criminal charges. Summit Power's legal team will help pursue civil remedies. The restraining order means Dale can't come near me or contact me about any of it. But tonight, I'm the recognized inventor of technology that will actually help people. My name is on the award, in the database, on the provisional patent, and soon, on contracts that will fund the company I should have started years ago. Dale wanted to steal my future to save his failing past. Instead, he freed me to build something entirely my own. The ribbon sits on my dashboard as Eva drives, catching streetlights as we pass. Such a simple thing, a piece of fabric with printed words. But those words matter, inventor Tessa Harrow. My name, my work, my future. The convention center's main stage glows under television lights. 3 local news crews have set up cameras, and the energy in the room crackles with anticipation. I stand in the wings with Sarah Brennan, watching Dale Gladhand remaining supporters near the press section. He actually showed up, Eva whispers beside me, even after the committee's ruling. He thinks he can flip this, Sarah observes. Watch, he's positioning himself near the cameras for reaction shots. The mayor approaches the podium as the crowd settles. Behind him, a large screen displays the fair's logo and tonight's major categories. My pulse quickens despite knowing the outcome. Before we announce our final award, the mayor begins, I want to acknowledge the incredible innovation displayed this year. The Best Applied Innovation category was particularly competitive. I spot my mother sitting alone 5 rows back, her posture rigid. She's wearing the same dress from their anniversary dinner last month, trying to project normalcy. The winner of Best Applied Innovation is... The mayor opens the envelope with theatrical flair. The Grid Loss Detection System by Rigsby Renewables. My stomach drops. Dale springs to his feet, already moving toward the stage. But then, my apologies, the mayor corrects, squinting at the card. I misread. The system is by Rigsby Renewables, but the award goes to the inventor. He pauses, and the main screen updates with the official record. In 40-point font, inventor Tessa Harrow, Harrow Grid Analytics, LLC. The convention center erupts in confused murmurs. Dale freezes mid-stride as the stage manager carries out the award, a crystal trophy and ceremonial ribbon. The ribbon unfurls, and even from here, I can read the printed text that matches the screen. Ms. Harrow, please come to the stage, the mayor announces. I walk through the crowd, feeling hundreds of eyes track my movement. Dale's face cycles through confusion, rage, and disbelief as I pass him. What is this? He shouts, his microphone catching his words. That's my company's innovation. The mayor maintains professional calm. Sir, according to the fair's verification process and legal documentation, Ms. Harrow is the registered inventor. The committee was quite thorough. I reach the stage as Dale lunges forward. This is fraud. She's stealing from family. Security moves instantly, but not before news cameras capture everything. Dale struggles against 2 officers, spittle flying as he rants about betrayal and theft. The juxtaposition is perfect, him being restrained while I stand calmly on stage, holding the award with my name literally emblazoned across it. That's my stepfather, I say quietly into the microphone, my voice carrying clearly through the sound system. He registered my work without permission, forged my signature on loan documents. The authorities have the evidence. From the crowd, Arthur Whitman stands and begins clapping. His team joins. Then Cal Benton. Then entire sections. The applause drowns out Dale's continued protests as security escorts him toward the exit. Thank you. I continue once the noise dies down. This technology took 3 years to develop. Tonight, I'm proud to announce that Harrow Grid Analytics has partnered with Summit Power to implement this system across Ohio, potentially saving millions in lost energy. The screen behind me shifts to show technical specifications, my code, my designs, my innovations. Dale can't claim any of it now. It's documented, verified, and publicly attributed. As I leave the stage, Detective Morrison intercepts Dale at the exit. I watch her hold up a badge, see Dale's shoulders slump as she speaks quietly but firmly. My mother rises from her seat, torn between following Dale and maintaining appearances. Tessa, a reporter pushes forward. Can you comment on the family dispute? Sarah steps smoothly between us. Ms. Harrow will be available for questions after reviewing the evening's events with counsel. But another reporter shouts over her, Mr. Rigsby, is it true you forged financial documents? Dale, now flanked by detectives, makes the mistake of turning back. She owes everything to me. I made her career possible. This is how she repays. Sir, I advise you to remain silent. Detective Morrison cuts him off, her words carrying clearly. You're under arrest for forgery, fraud, and identity theft. You have the right to remain silent, huh? The The cameras catch every word of the Miranda rights. My mother finally breaks, rushing toward Dale, but Eva intercepts her. "Don't," Eva says firmly. "Not on camera, not like this." The mayor, recovering admirably, returns to the microphone. "Well, that was eventful. Let's refocus on celebrating innovation." The crowd slowly settles, but the energy has shifted. Everyone's talking about what they just witnessed: the dramatic arrest, the family betrayal, the young woman who stood up to theft and won. Arthur Whitman approaches as I step off the stage. "That was professionally handled, though I suspect you knew something like this might happen." "I hoped it wouldn't," I admit. "But yes, we prepared for the possibility." He nods approvingly. "The partnership announcement was well-timed. By tomorrow, the story won't be about family drama, it'll be about a breakthrough technology and the company bringing it to market." Near the exit, paramedics attend to my mother. The shock finally hit. Apparently, Eva stays with her while I handle the business contacts surrounding me with cards and partnership proposals. "Did you see Dale's investors," Cal mentions, "joining our circle? They were filming everything. Bet those lawsuit papers are already being drafted." I had noticed them, 3 men in expensive suits, faces grim as their supposed innovation partner got arrested on stage. Dale had promised them my technology, taken their money, and now they'd witnessed the spectacular collapse of his fraud. Sarah touches my elbow. "The detective wants a statement tonight, while everything's fresh, and Channel 6 wants an exclusive." Business first, I decide. Then police, media last. For the next hour, I work the room with newfound confidence. Every conversation includes someone mentioning the ribbon, how it displayed my name, how the system automatically pulled the legal inventor of record. The fair's new policy, implemented just this year, had worked exactly as designed. Finally, as the event winds down, I retrieve my award and the famous ribbon, under the stage lights. The text gleams: "Inventor Tessa Harrow Grid Analytics, LLC. "Frame that," Sarah advises. "It's going to be worth more than just sentimental value when the civil suits settle." Outside, Dale's arrest has made the 11 o'clock news. Someone recorded the whole confrontation on their phone, Dale rushing the stage, security intervening, his arrest with my mother crying in the background. The narrative writes itself: stepfather steals stepdaughter's invention, gets exposed at the very event he tried to hijack. "You know he'll blame you forever," Eva says as we pack up my display materials. "Let him," I reply, carefully storing the ribbon. "He can blame me from federal prison." My phone buzzes with messages, congratulations from colleagues, interview requests from tech blogs, and 17 missed calls from my mother. I'll deal with her tomorrow, after the adrenaline fades and reality sets in. Tonight, I'm the inventor of record. The ribbon says so. The database says so. The patent office will say so. And Dale's arrest on fraud charges says loudest of all that the truth has a way of surfacing, no matter how many documents you forge to bury it. As Eva drives me home, I hold the award in my lap, running my fingers over the etched letters of my name. 3 years of work, almost stolen by a man who called it a hobby project. Instead, his greed handed me the platform to launch my company with more publicity than I could have bought. "So what's next?" Eva asks. "Tomorrow, I incorporate properly, file the full patent, meet with Summit Power's engineering team." I pause, thinking. "And probably find a new apartment, one where Dale doesn't know the address." "And your mom?" I stare out at the passing streetlights. That's her choice to make. She can be part of my future, or she can cling to Dale's past. But I'm done being collateral damage in his schemes. The ribbon catches the light from passing cars. That beautiful declaration of ownership nobody can forge or steal. Dale thought he'd won when he registered my work. He'd already printed business cards, promised investors, spent money he didn't have. But innovation isn't just about the final product. It's about the journey, every debugging session, every failed approach, every breakthrough. And that journey leaves traces that no amount of fraud can erase. The ribbon knew, the system knew, the truth knew. And now, everyone else knows too. The federal courthouse in downtown Grayford smells like floor polish and fear. It's been 12 hours since Dale's arrest at the convention center, and the machinery of justice moves faster than I expected. Detective Morrison meets me in the prosecutor's conference room, evidence boxes stacked beside her. "Your documentation made this easy," she says, pulling out familiar papers. "These forged signatures are amateur work. He didn't even try to hide the source documents." Assistant U.S. Attorney James Kellner enters, carrying coffee and a thick folder. "Ms. Harrow, I've reviewed the case. We're charging Dale Rigsby with wire fraud, aggravated identity theft, and making false statements to financial institutions. Each forged document is a separate count." "How many counts?" I ask. 17 so far. More if we find additional victims." He opens the folder, revealing photocopies of loan applications. "These go back 18 months. Your name appears on documents totaling over $400,000 in fraudulent debt." My stomach churns. 400,000. He was escalating. The science fair prize included a $50,000 innovation grant from the city. He'd already spent it based on forged partnership agreements with your name. Detective Morrison adds, "We've frozen all accounts connected to Rigsby Renewables. The forensic accountants are tracing where the money went. Preliminary findings show gambling debts, failed investments, and attempts to keep his construction business afloat." "What about my mother?" I force myself to ask. The detective and prosecutor exchange glances. "She's been cooperative," Morrison says carefully, claims she didn't know about the forgeries, though she admitted to knowing about the science fair project appropriation. "We found this." Kellner slides a paper across a transfer from my mother's retirement account to Dale's business, dated last week. She was funding his fraud, knowingly or not. I study my mother's signature, authentic this time. She knew, maybe not all of it, but enough. "She's agreed to testify in exchange for immunity on accessory charges," Kellner explains. "Her testimony establishes Dale's pattern of deception." My phone buzzes. Sarah Brennan texting, "Media circus at the courthouse, side entrance." The arrest video has gone viral. Morrison mentions, 3 million views since last night. The part where the ribbon shows your name while he's being handcuffed is particularly popular. Through the conference room window, I spot news vans circling the building. My quiet life as a grid analyst has exploded into something unrecognizable. "We need to discuss trial strategy," Kellner continues. "With your evidence and your mother's testimony, conviction is highly likely, but Dale's lawyer is already floating a plea deal." "What kind of deal?" "Full admission, restitution, and naming any co-conspirators in exchange for reduced sentencing. He's looking at 20 years without a deal, with one, maybe 7 to 10. 7 to 10 years. It seems both too much and not enough for what he tried to steal, not just money or code, but my future, my reputation, my relationship with my mother." "There's more," Morrison adds. "We found correspondence between Dale and someone named Marcus Webb. Ring any bells?" I shake my head. "He runs a patent troll operation. Dale was planning to file competing patents on your technology, then sue you for infringement of your own work. Webb would front the legal costs for a cut of settlements." The depth of planning stuns me. This wasn't desperation, it was calculated predation. "The good news," Kellner interjects, "is that conspiracy to commit patent fraud adds another 5 to 10 years. Webb's been on our radar. This gives us leverage to flip him too." We spend 2 hours reviewing evidence, signing statements, and preparing for what's next. As I leave through the side entrance Sarah indicated, a small crowd of reporters still finds me. "Ms. Harrow, how does it feel to see your stepfather arrested? Do you blame your mother for enabling him? Will you continue developing the technology?" I push through without answering. Eva's car waiting at the curb, but one reporter's question stops me. "What would you say to other victims of family financial fraud?" I turn back. "Document everything, trust your instincts, and remember family doesn't entitle anyone to destroy your future." The quote makes the evening news, played over footage of Dale's arrest. My phone explodes with messages from strangers sharing their own stories of family members who stole, forged, and betrayed. That evening, I meet with Summit Power's legal team at their hotel. The partnership moves forward despite or perhaps because of the drama. The publicity is actually helpful, Arthur Whitman admits. Everyone knows who really invented this technology now. No ambiguity in the IP rights. Still, their lawyer adds, we'll need clean documentation going forward. Your new patents should list only Harrow Grid Analytics, no connections to any family members or their businesses. Already handled, I assure them, sliding over the provisional patent filed yesterday. My name only, my company only, my future only. As we finalize preliminary agreements, my phone rings, the Federal Detention Center. You have a collect call from... Dale's voice cuts in. Tessa, please. I hang up. Sarah warned me he'd try this. The restraining order extends to jail calls. Smart move, Whitman observes. No good comes from those conversations. By 10 p.m., I'm back in Eva's guest room, laptop open to news sites. The headlines vary, but the theme remains stepfather arrested for stealing stepdaughter's innovation and family fraud exposed at science fair, and my personal favorite. Ribbon reveals real inventor as fake gets arrested. My mother has called 43 times. No voicemail, she knows I won't listen. But there's one text. The house is being seized. I have nowhere to go. Eva reads over my shoulder. Natural consequences. She signed those papers. I know she's right, but guilt gnaws anyway. Then I remember she watched Dale steal my work, helped him present it, stood by while he committed fraud in my name. The prosecutor said something interesting, I tell Eva, about how financial abuse in families is underreported because victims feel guilty about consequences. You're not responsible for Dale's crimes, she reminds me, or Mom's choices. A new email arrives from the Science Fair Committee. They're creating a new award category, the Integrity and Innovation Award, specifically recognizing inventors who pursue proper legal channels to protect their work. They want me to speak at next year's event. Look at you, Eva grins, from victim to advocate in one night. I just wanted my name on my work, I reply, but it's more than that now. Every message from strangers, every news story, every legal document creates a paper trail that says this happened, it was wrong, and the system worked to fix it. My phone buzzes with another detention center call. This time it's my mother, using her maiden name. I let it go to voicemail. Tomorrow. Dale faces arraignment. The prosecutor wants me there, a show of strength. He called it, I'll sit in that courtroom and watch the man who tried to steal everything face the consequences of his choices. But tonight, I update my GitHub repository, pushing new code improvements, each commit tagged with my name, timestamp, and the beautiful certainty that no one can steal this from me again. The science fair ribbon sits on the desk beside me. Inventor Tessa Harrow, catching the lamplight. Such a simple thing to have caused such destruction to Dale's plans. He thought he could paper over the truth with lies and signatures. He forgot that truth has a way of surfacing, especially when it's encoded in databases, documented in patents, and printed on ribbons for all to see. The detention center calls again. I block the number and get back to coding. My future won't build itself, and I've wasted enough time on those who tried to steal it. The Summit Power conference room gleams with morning light. 2 days after Dale's arrest, I'm signing documents that will change everything. Arthur Whitman slides the pilot program agreement across the table, $2.8 million for exclusive rights to implement my grid monitoring system across their Ohio infrastructure. Initial deployment in 6 municipalities, he explains. Full rollout if we hit 15% loss reduction targets. I sign my name, my real signature, on documents bearing only my company name. No co-signers, no family connections, just Tessa Harrow, CEO of Harrow Grid Analytics. My phone vibrates. Sarah Brennan texting. Dale took the plea, 8 years federal, full restitution ordered. Marilyn testified this morning. I excuse myself briefly, stepping onto the balcony to process. 8 years. He'll be 65 when released. His business dissolved. his reputation destroyed, all for trying to steal what wasn't his. When I return, Whitman's team has pulled up implementation timelines on the wall display. My algorithm fills the screen elegant code I wrote during countless late nights, now valued in millions. We'll need you on site for the Columbus deployment, their lead engineer notes, 2 weeks from now. I'll be there, I confirm, adding it to my new corporate calendar. The meeting concludes with handshakes and photo opportunities. The same cameras that captured Dale's arrest now document the legitimate business built from what he tried to steal. Tomorrow's headline will read, "Local Inventor Lands $1 Million Deal," instead of yesterday's "Stepfather Sentenced in Tech Theft Scheme." That evening, I meet Eva at our mother's former house. Federal marshals have already tagged assets for seizure. Mom sits on the porch with 2 suitcases, all she's allowed to take. "Tessa," she starts, but I hold up my hand. "I've leased you an apartment," I say, handing her the keys. 6 months paid. After that, you're on your own. Her face crumbles. I didn't know he forged. "You knew enough," I cut her off. "You chose him over truth, over me. These are the consequences." Eva helps load the suitcases into her car. Mom looks smaller somehow, diminished by her choices. The house where I grew up, where Dale plotted his theft, will be sold at auction to pay restitution. "Thank you," Mom whispers, "for the apartment." "It's not forgiveness," I clarify. "It's closure." As we drive away, I don't look back. Tomorrow, I have meetings with 3 more energy companies interested in licensing the technology. My calendar is full of opportunities Dale tried to steal but only succeeded in amplifying. 1 week later, I'm back at the convention center for a different event. The Grayford Chamber of Commerce has invited me to speak about protecting intellectual property. The same stage where Dale was arrested now hosts my PowerPoint presentation. "Documentation saved my career," I tell the packed audience. Every commit, every timestamp, every email created a trail that no amount of forgery could erase. The Q&A runs long. Business owners share their own close calls, asking about patents, documentation, and family boundaries. I've become an inadvertent expert on financial abuse, a role I never wanted but now embrace. After the talk, a young woman approaches. "My brother-in-law is pressuring me to add him to my business accounts," she says quietly. "Your story gave me courage to refuse." These interactions happen daily now. My inbox fills with similar stories, questions, requests for guidance. Sarah suggests I write a book, but I'm too busy building the company Dale tried to steal. 3 months pass in a blur of deployments, partnerships, and growth. Harrow Grid Analytics expands from 1 employee to 12. We lease office space in the Innovation District, far from Dale's old construction yard. The day we move in, a package arrives, no return address, but I recognize the handwriting. Inside, the science fair ribbon slightly crumpled but intact. A note in my mother's hand. "Found this in Dale's things. Thought you should have it." I frame it immediately, hanging it in my office where every visitor can see. The ribbon that revealed the truth, that printed my name when Dale thought he'd erased it. "Poetic justice," Eva comments during our lunch celebration. He kept it as a trophy, not knowing it was evidence of his downfall. My phone rings another detention center number I don't recognize. Dale, probably using another inmate's account. I let it ring, focusing instead on the contract from California's largest energy provider. They want exclusive West Coast rights. The numbers make Ohio look small. "You know what the best part is?" I tell Eva as we survey my new office. "He made me famous. Every article about his arrest mentions my company. Free publicity worth millions." "Crime doesn't pay," she agrees, "but stopping it apparently does." The California deal closes by month's end. Forbes requests an interview. MIT wants me to guest lecture. The algorithm Dale tried to steal now powers grids in 17 states, saving millions in lost energy and earning millions for the company that bears only my name. 1 year later, I return to the Grayford Science Fair as keynote speaker. They've made the Integrity Award permanent, with my story in the program. As I take the stage, I spot Marcus Webb in the audience, Dale's would-be patent troll partner, now advocating for inventor rights after his own conviction. Innovation requires protection, I begin, the crowd settling. Not just patents and copyrights, but the courage to defend what's yours, even especially when the thief shares your dinner table. The speech flows easily now, practiced but still passionate. I talk about documentation, boundaries, and the moment I realized family didn't entitle anyone to my future. The audience listens intently, some taking notes, others recording. My stepfather thought he could steal my work by stealing my name. I conclude. But names have power. They appear on ribbons, in databases, on legal documents. They tell the truth even when people lie. Protect your name. Protect your work. Protect your future. Standing ovation. Afterward, young inventors crowd around with questions. I answer them all, remembering my own confusion and fear just 18 months ago. Each conversation plants seeds of protection, boundaries, and self-worth. That night, I receive one final email from my mother. She's working now, rebuilding slowly. Dale refuses her visits, blaming her testimony for his conviction. She ends with, "I chose wrong. You chose strength. I'm proud of who you've become." I don't reply, but I don't delete it either. Some bridges can't be rebuilt, but their ruins remind us why we needed to cross. My office window overlooks downtown Grayford. City lights spreading like the power grid my algorithm protects. Somewhere in federal prison, Dale serves year 2 of 8. Somewhere in a small apartment. My mother lives with choices that cost her everything. And here, in the company built from attempted theft, I write code that saves cities money while earning more than Dale ever dreamed of stealing. The science fair ribbon hangs on my wall. Those printed words, Inventor Tessa Harrow, still sharp after everything. Such a simple thing to have destroyed such an elaborate fraud. But truth is like that, sometimes patient, persistent, and ultimately undeniable. My computer chimes with a new email. Another city wants the technology. Another opportunity Dale's crime inadvertently created. I open my development environment and get back to work. Some people steal, others build, and sometimes the builders win. Thank you so much for listening to my story. I'd love to know where you're tuning in from. Drop a comment below, and let's share our thoughts about family, betrayal, and sweet revenge. If this story resonated with you, please subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. And if you really want to help others discover this tale of justice served cold, smash that hype button so more people can hear about how one forged signature led to 8 years in federal prison. Until next time, remember, document everything, trust your instincts, and never let anyone, especially family, steal your future.